Hey everybody, it's Babette with Haggerty Dog Training. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This video today is going to talk to you about dispelling the myth that when you start training an aggressive dog, that your dog actually gets worse. I had somebody who wrote to me last night. They had one day of training. Their dog has already broken the skin. The dog has already growled and snapped at people. It's a young pup. Too young. Well, any dog is too young or too old to be breaking skin on anybody. I don't care what the person is doing. That is just not appropriate behavior. It's a liability, and it's a big neon sign that says this is going to get worse if you do nothing. So what happens with an aggressive dog is that, the owners will do everything wrong. The owners will not give the dog a consequence. The owners will restrain the dog. The owners will pat the dog thinking like, oh, calm down, baby. Calm down, baby. That's the worst thing you can possibly do. Some people will stop and give them a treat, and the timing of their treat giving is completely ill-timed. So I don't recommend that either. And that's why people come to Haggerty Dog Training, so we can show you exactly what to do. So when dogs are aggressive, for them there's a payoff. Now, to us, we think it's inappropriate. They don't realize that there's a payoff. And it's true in all of Animal Kingdom. We do things because there's a payoff. Now, it might be a big payoff, it might be a little payoff, but no matter what it is, there's a payoff. We don't do things because it makes us feel badly. We do things because it makes us feel good. And sometimes it's a good, and sometimes it's not such a good thing. Or it's a bad good, like alcoholism, addiction, things like that. Anyway, so what happens when a dog is aggressive is they get what they want. They learn that behavior gives them the payoff. Maybe it's chasing people away. Maybe it's people stopping clipping their nails because they act aggressively. You clip my nail. Well, the owner stops clipping the nail instead of training the dog to withstand the nail clipping. They chase the postman away, and the postal worker leaves, so the dog gets what they want, and they become bolder and bolder, like, look at that, look what I did, I chased him away. So they get the payoff that they want. And then in the meantime, you compound that with owners that do everything wrong. Not all owners, and believe me, I know owners have every desire to do right by their dog. And unfortunately, they instill these behaviors, they reinforce these behaviors, and they don't really intend to. Dogs need consequences, just like humans. What happens when you start training a dog, and that's really what I want to talk to you about today, is training your aggressive dog is not going to make them worse. It may appear to get worse initially, but what happens is you shake them up. They're a little stressed out. They're like, well, what just happened? I used to be able to do this and I got a payoff, and now you're not letting me do this and I'm getting a consequence. They're stressed. They're freaked out. They don't know what to think. So some confusion sets in. That's initially. And then what happens is they've got all of this energy that was pent up and they were using in negative things. And then they start to channel it into something better, because the trainer comes in, the owner comes in and starts changing what they're doing. There's a new sheriff in town. They start realizing that reaction is not going to give them anything good, and now there's going to be a consequence. There are no more payoffs. So take a kid that, maybe a kid that's a bully, or maybe a kid that's addicted to video games, and you take the video games away, and now they have all of this energy pent up and they don't know where to channel it. So what you do is you get the kid into martial arts, you get the kid running track, you get the kid doing something positive. Wilderness therapy is a growing field, and it's really helping people with anxiety and stress, panic disorders, drug addiction, alcoholism, and it's because they're moving, they're climbing rocks, they're hiking for miles and miles and miles and miles, they're learning to fish, they're taking all that negative energy and they're doing something positive with it. And that's what happens when you have a dog that's been aggressive, that has acted aggressively, that now you're training it, you're rehabilitating it, you're teaching it, you behave this way, there's a consequence. We're going to do it this way, and we're going to do different things. So what happens is they also start learning new skills. When you start teaching a dog a new skill, they become more confident, they become more relaxed, they just become more chill, and they're a whole lot happier. And it's important that you do these things consistently. And sometimes when you're working with a dog that is appearing to get worse, sometimes they will get a little bit worse before they get better because they don't know where to channel this energy yet. They haven't learned that part. So what happens is owners are either going to, put the pedal to the metal and keep on going, or they're going to give up. I can assure you, if you give up, you've already received that big neon sign that says warning, warning, warning. If you ignore it, it's going to get worse. I guarantee you it will get worse. However, if you push through, it does get better. It absolutely, positively gets better. Another myth is that people think, oh, my dog's not going to love me. Bull. Dogs, unlike humans, dogs' love for us is not conditional. They give us unconditional love. They actually become a lot happier and more relaxed because they start understanding what people want. The people around them are becoming a whole lot less stressed. And that makes their lives easier because they pick up on that tension. They pick up on those stressors. They pick up on that energy in the air that's not conducive to balance or harmony or peace or relaxation. So I can promise you, your dog will still love you. They know where their next meal is coming. And the other myth is that it's going to make them meaner. Well, don't forget, your dog has already been aggressive. Your dog may have already bitten somebody. Your dog may have already broken the skin. It's not going to make your dog meaner. And even if that were true, which it isn't, even if that were true, does it really matter? Why are you going to let it get worse? Because I can promise you it will get worse. I remember many years ago, I had a woman, this was down in, when I lived down in Jupiter, Florida. And this woman called me. She had like an 8-year-old German Shepherd. The dog had already bitten at least 2 or 3 people in its lifetime, and she never did anything about it. I asked her, why didn't you do anything about it, before? Oh, she just kind of shrugged it off. It wasn't a big deal. Well, now, and I don't know if this was the first kid the dog bit, but now the dog bit a kid in the face. Well, I take that back. I don't remember if it was the face. The dog bit a kid, and now she was getting sued. She lived in a very nice neighborhood. I could understand why she was worried about getting sued. And I said to her, I said, well, you didn't do anything before. Why not now? Well, I'm getting sued now. Oh, okay. So you had this liability. You chose to do nothing. And then I'll never forget, she got mad at me. She took it one step further, and she said, when I gave her the price, and I'm sure I didn't charge her any more, although a dog trainer should be charging more when we get aggressive dogs, because one injury could put us out of work for a long time, but that's a whole other topic. She got mad at me. She said, why is it so much money? Why? I want a discount. I said, I'm not giving you a discount. I don't discount the quality of my training. Why am I going to discount your dog that really I should be charging more for? And she's like, well, I'm getting sued. And I thought to myself, lady, good. I'm glad you're getting sued. You deserve it. You've done nothing. This dog has injured other people, and now you're getting sued, so now you're doing something about it? You never should have allowed that dog to get to the point where it was actually going to bite a kid. And you know what? There's a ripple effect there. When a kid is bitten by a dog, do you think that kid will ever want to go near a dog again? Do you think that kid's going to be scared of dogs the rest of its life? Think about how many dogs that child can grow up to love if it's never bitten and it never has a bad encounter with a dog. And now you've ruined the chances of that kid ever knowing the love of a dog because you were irresponsible. Anyway, that's my soapbox for the moment. Just remember, if it feels like your dog is getting worse, sometimes it feels like they're getting worse, but they're really not. And you have to push through. And if you've ever gone, I won't deny it, I've been to marriage counseling. If you go to a marriage counselor, they're going to tell you, look, things aren't going to get better right away. Things might actually get worse. But until you start to develop a routine and until you start developing new patterns, new habits, things might get worse before it gets better. And I can tell you the same thing happens with dogs and dog training and training aggressive dogs. You have to push through. Your dog is still going to love you. Your dog is not going to get meaner. You just have to keep doing the work. And don't worry about your dog so much. They're living in your house. They're not paying the mortgage. They're not worried about car payments. They're not worried about medical insurance. You cook for them. You keep the house clean. Asking them to behave and not bite people and not get you sued is a small thing to ask, and I don't think it's unreasonable. Anyway, that's my soapbox for the day. Hope you have a wonderful day. If you have any questions, call our center, 201-444-9893. Go to our website, haggertydog.com. The link is in the About Us section. And haggertydog.com. haggertydog.com, setting the standard in dog training since 1962. Until then, have a great day, everybody.